Guess what, y'all? We're live. We're live on YouTube. Scratched Up Live. Number 25. On YouTube, on Quarter Day Recordings. Welcome to 2025. The year where we take over this hip-hop YouTube space. And boy, do we have a special episode today to kick off the new year. Let's go! We have a special guest tonight, this evening. As you probably know, if you're here already. His name is at NonstopSignatures on Instagram and on YouTube. And we will be having a conversation with him pretty much immediately. I think he is ready to go. What's up, Rap Porter? I think he is ready to go. So I have to get this Zoom going, if you know what I mean, for our friend NonstopSignatures. Let's see if I can bring him in here. Start. All right. Interesting what it did down here. Recording in progress, okay. Let's bring this bad boy, make this guy big again here. Okay. Oh, there we are. Here we are. Something's happening. I didn't really give you a heads up, my man, but if you are here, I am ready to go. I wonder if you can see me. I'll shoot you a message. Oh, yo, there you are. What's up?
All right.
Yo.
There we go. We good?
Yes, I can hear you and I can see you. So
All right.
We're good to go. And remind me of your name again?
It's Mike.
Mike. Nice to meet you. I'm Derek.
Nice to meet you officially, yeah, man.
Yes.
I wish he was under more positive circumstances, but you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a lot to tell me, actually, because I am not aware really of the details of what you found. I found out, through the account Rap Hoarder, because he made a post about a fake Snoop Dogg signature.
He's a great supporter of mine, yep.
Okay, yeah, and hold on, let me make sure. Okay, yeah, we're good on the YouTube side of things. But yes, so I saw that he bought a signed Snoop Dogg CD, and he sent it to you for authentication, and you found out that it was fake?
I mean, it didn't even get that far. It's a pretty tight knit group. The people who collect it's autographs in general. It's a huge business, obviously, between sports and celebrities. But for hip hop, not mainstream hip hop, but actual hip hop fans, like it's a very tight knit group. That's why I know Rap Hoarder, and that's why I know some other guys. You'll get to know them if you look into that world. But so we get the heads up as soon as they start coming in. People post them and they're excited to get this, and it's heartbreaking. You don't want to be the guy, but people who just, I don't know, we're experienced in seeing it and knowing what it looks like, and it's just sad that it has to come to that just to boost record sales. I mean, it's really not anything other than that.
And can you go into a little bit of your process of how you authenticate a signature?
Yeah, so I deal with Beckett authentication. So there's, if people are watching that don't know, there's three main authentication companies that are kind of the benchmark for what's real and what's fake in our world, and it's Beckett, PSA, and JSA. you check it. You know, everybody has their preference out of the three, but in general, they're all trusted, and none of them pass any of those, you know, that I've mentioned.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just I've started this when I was, you know, 11 years old as a hobby. I was just like a little kid outside of clubs trying to get rappers' autographs, and then it just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah.
So when you do that enough, you watch how people sign. You know, you get. Put it this way, I've sold more real Snoop Dogg autographs than he did on that missionary release.
Okay.
Period.
Right. How? Okay. Interesting. So you have your own collection of autographs that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't collect as much anymore per se. I think when you do it as long as I did, and you started it as a hobby, and then it sort of blends into business and, you know, dealing with some of these guys, it's you sort of get jaded in the collecting aspect of it.
Yeah.
So, but I love to be the guy who connects people to the artists. You know what I mean? Yeah. And what really sparked it was over COVID. It really went crazy with these fake signings because they were so desperate to make money anywhere they could. They couldn't tour. You know, so
right.
When Mariah did it, she did the Christmas album, which everybody's going to buy. They made it super cheap. Said they were going to sign it.
Right.
First wave was all signed by her, and then I mean,
they just keep pumping.
I don't know how many were sold, but the majority were all fake after that, and it's just unfortunate because like people like me, you know, if you look at my comments on my videos, you'll just see the hate that I get.
I imagine.
I don't really know why. I mean, I'm just making people aware. I'm not telling people to buy it or don't buy it or whatever. I mean, do what you want with your money, but I think when someone's telling you something's going to be autographed and it's not, I think they should make you aware, like, hey, it's a replica of their signature, but like, you know, they know what they're doing. It's very calculated.
So, do you think that they are fit like employees signing as them, or are they like printed signatures?
Well, it's both for sure. So, like Mariah's was definitely somebody else signing for her because it's so that there's a machine, quite literally, it's called auto pen, and you know. With technology, they can mimic, you know, I think it's meant, you know, for signing business letters or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take every opportunity to cut corners, you know, these billion-dollar record label companies. And then people think they're getting some kind of deal. And, you know, what they're doing is selling useless merchandise in 2025. Like, let's be serious. Like, do you know the name of Bon Jovi's album in 2025 or 2024? Do you know any of the singles? No, somehow it charted on the Billboard rock charts. Like, you know, people don't even know he has an album, but like that's the grift. You know what I mean? That's all right. We just tell people you're gonna sign it. They'll buy my car's from 2016. It doesn't even have a CD player. Like it was already Bluetooth, and it's almost 10 years old. You know what I mean? Like. They're trying to, you know, nobody's going to buy a physical copy. You can go download the songs you want. You can, you know, so it's clearly just selling the autograph to get people to buy it and bump the numbers. And it's just, that's the thing. It's so calculated, and how much the artist actually is involved and aware. I would imagine it's the record label just taking it off their plate. Yeah, here, sure. Sign these 100. And then they can just keep selling them and selling them and selling them.
They never take it down off the website. They just
so like I would imagine in most cases, like Snoop probably didn't even know. Like it's probably like, yeah, we're doing this thing, and out of sight, out of mind. You know, to him, it's probably no big deal. Like it's a new release.
Right.
You know,
he does so much shit that it's like
you know, as promotion or whatever for people in the office of the record label, and that's the end of it for him. He never thinks about it again.
Right.
But they get orders and orders and orders. So when those real ones are gone, the temptation's just there for the greed. The record label, it's to me, it's you know, I always tell the artists I work with, I would be offended if the record label came to me and with that idea, like, hey man, we got to sign your album to get people to sell it, to buy it and chart it. Like what about the merit of your music? You know what I mean? I don't hate on anybody. Make it how you have to make it, but like if you're gonna make it right, you know. Like I don't know.
It seems to be these legacy acts that are doing it seem to be, you know, from what you can tell, to be doing it as well. So
it's a shame, man. It's,
It's so you said you work with Beckett and PSA. Those are the companies?
I personally work with Beckett.
Okay.
I see them every month or two. So if anybody needs their own autographs authenticated, but I'm always happy to look at it. I have a pretty good eye for it and a good idea of, what would pass, what wouldn't.
Right.
So I'll just take people's money if I know it's not good. You know what I mean? I try to be honest and,
Absolutely. Can you tell me like some of the, like for the Snoop Dogg signature in particular, are there anything if you look at it now and you're looking at it and you're analyzing it, what is popping out at you and you're like, yo, that's
to me,
not
that
right.
one, it was really calculated. So Snoop's actually done a paid autograph signing. It was a few years ago, and people ended up being really angry about it because Snoop has like 2 or 3 different different autographs. If you see him, he can sign 10 autographs in a row, and there's going to be 3 or 4 different variations. He just puts an S, an SD. Sometimes he'll spell it out, and
yeah.
Everybody, you shorten your name sometimes given the circumstances or whatever, but
sure.
They definitely took one style, which is probably one of the nicer styles, and just had someone mimic it. You can tell, like, it's very slowly drawn. It's not how he forms his letters,
Yeah.
A lot of these hip hop artists have that kind of graffiti flow. Like, a lot of signatures are faked across sports because signatures are so bad. Like, good luck with rappers, man. Like, I deal with a lot of guys. And I look at them. Like, I did a signing with Capadonna, and I was just watching him. And he was telling me, like, man, I just have it down to science. I used to just write that on the train every day when I was a kid. Capadonna every day. So it was just his tag that turned into his autograph. So, like, there's a lot of that element in hip hop autographs, especially. So, to me, it's very glaringly obvious when I see it, and I'm just like, that's just someone trying to, like, they looked at that one version of it, and just
ran
for
with
it. Like, they had a better chance if they just did the bad autograph, the quick autograph, because that's what he would do if there was a stack of 1,000.
Yeah, like illegible, just like quick, like some.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the legit, if you look at the legit releases, and there are some. The autographs get worse and worse and worse as they go along because it's like they are sitting there signing them. But to me, it actually adds to the credibility because it's like, that's probably what I would be doing if I signed thousands of them. By the end of them,
I've
like,
seen those videos where you're like, I'm about to sit here and sign 1,000 of these and they hate it. They're so pissed.
See like John Cena and CM Punk, the crazy videos of them backstage because they sell them at the merch stand. And every show stacks, and they just have it down to a science.
Right.
But it's not in every letter autograph. It's not spelling out your name. It's appeasing the people. And I don't know. For the most part, people get it in the mail, and they just have no idea. But in a day where everybody has a voice, and it's a lot easier to be heard. Now all of a sudden that video has like 300-something thousand views, and I'm like, good. People should know.
Hell yeah. That's why I was like, dude, I got to talk to this man because. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Of course,
I do. I appreciate it because it's. I think it's important. You know what I mean? It's what I do. It's my livelihood.
So
everybody else.
You make a living doing this?
Yeah. So I do a bunch of different stuff. I don't just deal in hip hop, but I deal with custom framing and displays for people. They send me their items, their jerseys. I get that done for them.
Yeah.
And then I consult on merch with some artists. And then I do signings and collab on some merchandise with different artists too.
Okay.
If you check out my page, you'll see I dealt with a lot of guys over the last couple of years. So
yeah, hell yeah. Well, I'll throw all your info in the description of this video. I don't know if you have a website or anything like that, or is it just Instagram?
Yeah, NonstopSignatures.com. It's up and down. I'm working on it at the moment with some new stuff that I have coming out this year. So definitely keep a lookout for that. And man, I'm hoping that we can talk again with some positive news.
Yeah,
like, one of these releases will blow me away and be like, well, actually Ice Cube did one and he signed them. So far so good on those ones. It just shows that it's done, you know what I mean? Right. Taylor Swift. Nobody when she remastered her music so she could make separate money from the label. I think she's what really sparked this whole idea because she just realized I can just put it up for $15, sign them, and sell a ton of albums. And she did. I think the remastered are starting to sell more than the originals now, which was her plan.
Sure. Yeah.
She sits there and signs every single one of them. There's not one that's been faked that anybody has seen. Everybody, the consensus is that she sits there and signs them.
Yeah.
And nobody sells more than her. So
wow.
If she can do it, you know what I mean? John Bon Jovi can do it. And, you know, anybody else that's, you know, too busy to sit there and do it.
Right. That's cool to know. You know, I was wondering if you were about to just like expose Taylor Swift right now too.
No. I already told her when I did this before. I told her I don't want any kind of smoke with the Swifties because I don't even know if I'd call her out if she was doing it because that's I don't want to do that.
Yeah, nobody can handle that.
It's the whole thing. I'll fight with the Bon Jovi people. They're hilarious. They blindly defend this guy, you know, every one of them, and they'll all tell me the same thing. Oh, he serves free food to the homeless, and he helped a guy that was going to jump off a bridge. I'm like,
what does that
you can do those things. Yeah, I was like, you can do those things and be an asshole. You can still be an asshole. I was like, you can't. You're stealing money from fans that have supported you for 40 years to feed homeless people, which is a noble thing, but not when you're taking money from someone else. So like. It's like some reverse Robin Hood thing or something. I don't know. He's taking money from people and giving it to the poor. You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
right.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard
fans are so fucked up.
I live in New Jersey. I've heard about this restaurant. I've never seen it, never been to it. I don't know. To me, it's like I think it's like a unicorn. I don't know that it even really exists. But if I ever get to 1 million followers, I don't think that'll happen. But 1 million views on that video. Yeah. We're going to do some kind of giveaway, and we're going to do it right at his restaurant, and we'll just do it right out in front. So if you can make it to town, if we ever hit 1 million views, you're more than welcome.
You said New Jersey?
Yeah, I'm from Philly. I live in New Jersey now, and you know he's the king of New Jersey, so they would tell you.
Right. That's hilarious. You got to let me know if that happens.
You know, it's so weird because the video over the last like 2 weeks, it gained like 200,000 views. It was at like 100,000, and I put it up in July.
Yeah,
and it's all the hate, man. That's what the algorithm likes. It's like,
yep,
you're a fucking loser. You're like, yeah, okay. I mean, you can think I'm a loser for doing what I do. That's fine. People don't have to understand it. They think that I'm just like easy autograph dealer or whatever. Like, I worked really hard to put myself in the position to get the contracts and deals that I have with artists.
Yeah.
You know, so all the hate that these guys spew, you know, that you know how hard it is to break into hip hop as a white guy. Let's be honest. I see some of the comments on the old videos. Like, people hate. That's what they do.
Yeah.
If you look at my videos, I wouldn't be backstage with these guys and hanging out with them and doing stuff with them if I wasn't a valuable piece to the operation.
Absolutely.
They know how connected I am with the fans. They see that, and I work with anybody who appreciates that. If anybody ever suggested that we fake autographs or whatever, I just wouldn't work with them. That's not.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do. You know what I mean? Like, people spend money, so do it right. That's all.
Dude, hell yeah, bro. That's fucking awesome, man.
Oh, yeah, I smoked a little before I came on here, so I'm a little long-winded, but
no, you're all good, man. I really appreciate what you do. You know, I think it's super important in any industry, but you know, I think it's important to have accountability in hip hop, which, you know, like, I love hip hop so much. Like that's why I'm doing this.
That really bothers me when like Snoop does it. Because like, I expect that shit. You know what I mean? Like, he's just a commercial, you know, cog in the wheel at this point. Like, I expect
exactly
from Snoop, like, coming from hip hop. Like, hip hop to me is just authenticity. Everything's authentic and gritty and real. So when I see that, like, I don't want to call Snoop out. I love Snoop. I met Snoop 1 million times. Always been cool to me.
Yeah.
That's why I don't rag on him as hard as I do Bon Jovi, because it's like I don't think Snoop's calculated in what he's doing.
Right.
I think if he knew the extent of what it was happening, he probably wouldn't feel great about it. But
he's probably so unaware of what the fuck.
You know, this isn't like a huge deal to him at this point, but you know, it's really the record labels and the people pushing that. Like, if you're gonna offer it, you just do it, you know.
Yeah. If you got your arms in so many businesses, I mean, I don't know how someone like Snoop could be 100% aware of all the, he's got so many employees doing stuff for him, but
because he did an autograph signing with a pretty reputable autograph dealer. It was a private signing. It was but he signed the stuff bad, like you know what I mean. People weren't happy, and I get it. Like I'm gonna do that, but
hey, it's better than a fake signature.
Snoop, like he's sitting at a table. Like I promise, they're putting this stuff in front of him, and he's just like, what the fuck? Like he just wants to on it. And when you're taking money and doing this as part of your living, I think you should treat it serious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if it's a hassle and an inconvenience, every person who does a job for money is inconvenienced. I would like to be inconvenienced in that way, where that was my biggest. You know what I mean? That my hand hurt from signing. Like I just don't get it.
Right. So I got a couple more questions. One of them, so Jelly Roll, you mentioned Jelly Roll. We haven't brought him up. Anything to say about him? Just say more of the same stuff?
Yeah, to me, I made a video about him. It didn't get quite as many views as the Bon Jovi, but to me, his was the most egregious, and I think it bothered me the most because it was 100% for charity. Like that really bothered me.
Yeah.
So he did like a very initial wave that they signed the CDs in black marker.
Yeah.
And then they were real, people, we all agreed. And then once again, the greed just comes in when they ran out of the ones that were signed. It was just this wave of silver ones, and they were auto penned, and they're the ones when they're auto penned, you can see they're almost drawn. They have starting and stop points. Yeah. Sign your name a thousand
like a robot
times.
Arm that's doing it or something.
Quite literally like that. Yep. So now sign your name. It'll never do that. You know what I mean? I'll sign it 1,000 times in a row. It'll definitely never do that.
Right.
But these are in the same exact spot with the same points, the same. And some of them even
how it's easy to tell. I can see.
If you really look at it, but people who aren't expecting that, like you just get it in the mail and you're like, oh, cool, my Jelly Roll CD. You put it in the case and it just sits there. Like, But people who actually collect, like it's just a slap in the face. And he should really be ashamed of himself because he just made video after video patting himself on the back because it was 100% for charity. He wasn't taking anything from this. I mean, does he not have like $400,000 that he could have just gave to the charity?
Donate to that?
I mean,
it's a
guy,
weird angle to like scam your fans for charity.
Like a redemption story, and he's like, that's all I have to hear. Like people send me like all the articles all the time because they know I made that video, and it's like about how he came back and
You're like,
he's reborn.
What
bullshit.
Does this have to do with anything?
People are reborn. Don't steal money and give it to charity. Like I just don't.
Right. Yeah, so, he's got a whole brand being, a whole new thing going on for him. Like,
that's all. It's expect like people are like, think I don't expect anything to actually be done to these guys. Like I get that. That's not the point that I'm trying to make. It's just to make the people who aren't aware, and let them decide. Because I see it in the comments. Well, who cares if it's not really signed? Like I would think most people if they bought it, but let them decide. You know what I mean?
Well, they surely are upcharging for these, limited edition signed copy, or they for sure.
And even some of them they don't actually, and I think again that's just to entice people even more.
Yeah.
How can you? You're going to spend $15 on iTunes. You might as well spend $20 and get the signed one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's how they do it. And then what they really do, more just calculated shit, is they started to have the autograph inside, so you had to open it all up, open the packaging, get inside, and realize it's fake.
So you can't return.
Good luck returning it, because then they're telling you, oh, well, there's the online code in there, and we don't know that you didn't write that down, and you broke the seal.
Yep.
I mean, it's just
another way.
It's very. They sat in a meeting and decided this.
Absolutely.
This is what it was going to be, and I mean, there's just no way around it. So when people defend it, it just really bothers me. Like, I just think you're a bad person if you defend that.
Yeah, I think they think they're defending their favorite artist, but more than likely the artist is not aware. The artist is not in that meeting with the record label on the business.
Probably not.
more than like
probably.
at least with an artist like Snoop Dogg or maybe even Jelly Roll.
Yeah, but like, see, John Bon Jovi, like that motherfucker knows that he wasn't charting an album in 2024 without doing it. So I do think people like him.
There's got to be a certain point. Yeah. With that being said, there's got to be a certain point where they are aware. They're like, we're selling these on my website. I didn't sign 1,500 copies of.
I'm not good with looking at the numbers and stuff, but I would love to look at the breakdown of his all of them really, of the physical CDs they sold in modern times for each of these releases compared to the digital downloads. You know what I mean? Because people can see. Well, I guess people would do both at that point, but like if they're not selling signed CDs, I have to imagine they're selling almost no CDs right now. You know what I mean? Like even vinyl would outsell CDs at this point.
Absolutely, it's got to.
So for Bon Jovi, it's just not making sense to me. Yeah. I've bet the record executives follow me every time. They watch what I'm doing and then they block. Like, why would you block me? Why?
Yeah.
I'm a guy with 1,000 followers. They'll block me. Yeah. Why?
Because they know there's power in the truth.
Follow me. They'll watch. They won't respond though.
Yeah, there's power in the truth, man. That's why.
Yeah. So it's just, they realize that they're being caught. They want to see how far it goes, and then they watch, and it blows over. That's just how it is. Right. At the end of the day, I only have so many people that can see it. But that's why something like this I really appreciate, because no matter how many more people see it, it's probably some people that weren't aware before. So now you're aware. So in future stories, if that comes up, you'd be like, what? I wonder if this. You can check in with me and see if something's real or not down the line.
Hell yeah, bro. I got one more question for you. Actually,
of course.
Maybe two more, but this one's a little off topic. Do you authenticate Pokemon cards? Are you into that at all?
I don't. Okay. I never. Sports cards and Pokemon cards, I kind of never got. As a kid, I was into. Yeah, I got my hands full with the autograph thing. Yeah. As you can see with this, that's a whole other animal, because I think there's a whole lot of frauds and scamming going on in the card world too. So I don't know if my blood pressure can take that. I've enough to fight with in my comments already.
Right. All right, and then last question, man.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, dude, I had it and now I lost it.
It's all right. Take your time, man. I forget stuff all the time.
That might actually be that might have been my last question, because now that I try to grasp that last one, it's completely gone.
Hey, all good, man.
But thank you so much. Yeah, dude, thank you so much for this. I will be checking in with you, like, for sure. Absolutely. Next time I see something that pops up, I'll be checking in with you.
Yeah, anytime, man. And I know you. I watched a couple of your older shows before we talked and everything, and just checked in on you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. It's great to see someone commenting on stuff that a lot of people aren't commenting on. Yeah, and if they are kind of in passing in a negative way or whatever, I liked how you kind of were breaking down what's going on in hip hop. So, and a lot of the new rappers, I don't know a lot of the shit that was going on. So when I was watching, I was like, oh, all right, now I'm learning
some shit. Yeah, there's a lot to learn, bro. There's a lot of there's scammers, old and young right now, and so I want to call that out. And so it's great to have this connection with you, and we will continue to talk, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. My DMs are always open. Hit me anytime you need, and same with any of your followers. I'm happy to answer any questions or whatever they have. If they have some stuff that they had questions about, feel free.
Yeah, and one last time, they can find you on Instagram at
NonstopSignatures and NonstopSignatures.com.
All right, hell yeah, and I'll put that in the description.
All right, thanks so much, Derek. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, peace out, man.
All right, take care.
What do you guys think about that? We're still live, right? That was fucking awesome, you guys. Hell yeah. Shout out Nonstop Signatures. I totally lost my last question there. I knew I had one more question to ask him, and then I totally lost it right when I was meant to ask him. So, go figure. That's just how we roll over here at Quarter Day Recordings. Why is my screen like way off center? I don't know. But yeah, you guys heard it here. Fake Snoop Dogg signatures, fake Bon Jovi signatures, which is even, that seems to be the big one for him. the fake Bon Jovi signatures. That's and I totally believe it, especially when he said that, like Jelly Roll, for example, has that auto pin, and so each one is exactly the same. And all you got to do is take two and compare them. You're like, dude, this shit was totally made by a robot. So be careful, y'all. If it's a signed CD, feel free to buy it. Feel free to buy the signed merch, but just be aware. Make it an artist that you love. If you're buying signed merch, make sure it's an artist that you love, so at least you're supporting an artist that you absolutely love in case it might be a fake signature. You know what I mean? Because you want to boost the record sales of artists that you love. And if they're selling fake signature, or if they're selling signatures, just be aware that shit might be fake. And we'll keep calling this out over here on Scratched Up Live. We'll keep checking in with our boy NonstopSignatures. Yeah. Quite interesting. Shout out Rapporter again for connecting me with that story. You got follow Rapporter on Instagram. He's one of these collectors that NonstopSignatures was talking about. That's online. I guess there's a bit of a community there, and so basically he bought a Snoop Dogg at Rapporter bought a Snoop Dogg CD, Missionary, the new Snoop Dogg album, signed, and sent a picture of it to NonstopSignatures, and he's able to confirm that shit. And now I'm realizing now the question that I fucking forgot about. But basically I was more curious about like the artists that he has contracts with. And I'm pretty upset myself for forgetting that, because that would have been interesting. But I actually only had 40 minutes of Zoom time anyways, now that I think about it. So, because Zoom only lets you have 40-minute meetings unless you pay their ass. And we were just about at time. So, I guess me forgetting that last question, it made the interview time out well, at least, because he probably would have been cut off. Our conversation would have been cut off, but thanks, man. Thanks for saying it was a great interview. That was my first interview. That was our first interview on Scratched Up Live. How about that? Also, that was streaming on Instagram. Yeah, sorry. If anybody, Tony knows, if you're still here, I wasn't paying attention to Instagram. This is just to find the full live stream, it's on YouTube. So this is just to funnel people to the YouTube. So, yeah. Now that that's done, we got a couple of stories to hit. A couple of top of the show stories. And then I'm going to get into something that is very personal and very exciting for me. My 2024 top albums of the year list, ranked. I'm going to go through each album in order from, it's 18 to 1. It's my top 18 albums, okay, with a whole bunch of honorable mentions. Definitely need some more interviews after this one. Hell yeah, dude. I agree. I'm always searching for stories. Rapporter. I am Dom P. Always searching for stories. This Snoop Dogg thing, just following your account, I feel like it just fell in my lap. Hit you up. You suggested it to reach out to him. It all worked out. So I'm always looking for interesting stories, in the hip hop realm, really just the music industry. But my niche is hip hop. I'm a big hip hop head. Clearly, this is a hip hop channel, a hip hop research stream. That's what this is. But yeah. So if there's anything else, even more of the fake signature stuff, I'm interested in that. Just let me know. I'm interested in calling out specific artists. If you come across anything else, bring it my way. So like I was saying, we're going to do a couple top of the show stories, and then we're going to get into my top 18 albums of 2024, ranked from worst to best. Not worst, though. They're my top 18 favorites, so they're all awesome. from least favorite to favorite, I guess you could say. This shit's crazy, you guys. And I actually need to find another article about it, because all I've got right now is just this Twitter post, Hot 97 Twitter post about it. But dude, I feel bad, even though I'm laughing. Waka Flocka Flame was jumped by 10 people, apparently. Look at this. What he did to get jumped by 10 people, I can't even imagine. It's Waka Flocka, like a legend, a hip-hop legend at this point. Getting completely disrespected in like the worst way possible. Can't believe nobody helped me fight 10 people off, but I'm still standing 10 toes marks. As the quote there by Waka. So let me pull up. I don't really know the story. I just have that. This is crazy, you guys. For real. It's crazy. Let's see. It's actually not funny. It's not funny. I'm getting my serious face on. Waka Flocka Flame reveals harrowing injuries following alleged 10-man attack. Waka is a very interesting character. I'm pretty sure he's he's a Trump supporter these days, which is like way different than what for the latest news. I'm pretty sure, besides him getting jumped by 10 people, is that he's supporting Trump. But then before that, the last I saw him was on the Fresh and Fit podcast, walking out because Fresh and Fit are so goddamn stupid, and he couldn't take it anymore, and he literally walked out of the podcast. I'm pretty sure. I think it was Fresh and Fit. One of those, like, what do you call it? Manosphere podcasts. Either Fresh and Fit or the whatever podcast. He gets up and walks out because they're, like, being just the normal selves, which is completely idiotic. And now here he is getting jumped. So, according to reports, Waka Flocka Flame revealed that he was attacked by a group of 10 individuals in a violent altercation that left him battered and bloodied. He posted a photo of his injuries on Threads earlier this week. Shout out Threads. Prompting and follow Quarter Day Recordings on Threads, by the way, and Derek Obscure, but at Quarter Day Recordings on Threads. And Twitter. No, scratch that. At Quarter Day Recordings on Threads. That's it. Prompting concern from his followers. Can't believe nobody helped me fight 10 people off, but I'm still standing 10 toes marks. Waka said in the caption. He has yet to offer additional details about the event. After DJ Academics uploaded the post on Instagram, his followers quickly took to the comments offering words of encouragement. One fan said, "I'm just glad they only lumped you up. It only came with bumps and bruises." So wait, is there really no other info? Let's see. I should have done this before the stream, but we're doing this together. We're doing it together. It's more fun this way. I guess there's not much other info about it. This all happened like within the last day. Wait a second. Wait. What's going on here? This is from Vice. As of this week, Waka Flocka Flame can add fake news whistleblower to his resume. The rapper recently took to social media to claim he was jumped by 10 people and had to fight them off alone, only to turn around and imply that he faked the whole thing to prove a point about media incompetence. What? I'm pissed, dude. On New Year's Day, Waka took to Threads to share a picture of himself with facial injuries. That's so dumb, because what else are people supposed to think? Hold on. Waka. He's over here. He's definitely gotten some weird conspiracy brainworm going on. He's trying to prove how dumb the media is by posting a picture of himself with extremely realistic looking injuries on his own personal Instagram account, claiming that he was jumped. And he's blaming the media for believing it. But why would why would anybody not believe it on face value? It came directly from him, with a photo of his face all beat up. Like, why would it? It seemed legit. I mean, it's kind of curious that there was no like police report about it, but it was only a matter of 10 days. I'm sure, you see how dumb this is? If at the very least he should have held off on giving up the bit for like a week to see if people actually like are falling for it. But within like 24 hours, he's like revealed it and be like, ha ha, stupid. You believed that? Stupid. Meanwhile, the photo that he posted is extremely real. Is this? It looks like he got beat up. This is so dumb, dude. This is so dumb. I think he's just trolling. On New Year's Day, Waka took to Threads to share a picture of himself with facial injuries that were sustained in the alleged brawl, writing alongside the photo, "Can't believe nobody helped me fight." We already read that. The following day, on January 2nd, Waka jumped back on Threads to say the post was fake news, writing, "Internet be so quick to believe shit without doing any research. Too many people just proved how easy it is to believe." Bro, it looked real as fuck. Like, those are real injuries, right? At the very least, he's in some, like, movie. What the hell? Just got a weird comment. Anyways, at the very least, he's in some, like, movie or TV show where he's got, like, prosthetics on. And he just wanted to post it. Like, some behind-the-scenes shit. Or maybe the real injuries from, like, a dirt bike accident. I don't know, but, like, why would it, like... Waka. Dude. What the fuck? This is so dumb. He also shared a post seemingly shared on X stating, "Not a single media outlet that reported all my shit reached out to me or my team to confirm anything." Okay, fair enough. So he's not blaming the just commenters. He's blaming the media for not even reaching out to get facts. They ran with a caption as they headline, "Imagine a world where facts ain't checked and an IG post can steer a string of news." Fair enough. And that's why we go deeper here on Quarter Day Recording. So I'm not lumped in with these dumbass gossip publications. We reach out. We do actual investigations. We do interviews. We do all that over here. So hit that subscribe button for good content. I'm gonna leave this one saying that Waka was not talking about publications or media like Quarter Day Recordings, but this is still dumb. But not as dumb. At first I thought he was blaming his commenters and his fans. But he is on some weird right-wing arc right now for sure. Finally, he added a flock of facts comment on Threads. "Life can be a movie or a reality, how you look at it. Remember, do your research," he wrote. "Confirm your facts. Most importantly, don't let them manipulate, because I just showed y'all how easy it is to create a fake narrative out of a picture." And, that's totally true. It's just like, this is definitely being fueled by some, like, the left-wing media is controlling you. That type of shit. Which is very close to, like, the Jews control the media type shit. It's just flirting with very weird shit. Even though he does have a point. I'm pretty sure he's gone down the MAGA pipeline. And that's why I'm pretty sure I can see where his head's at right now. "I think we can all agree that the clear moral of the story is assume the worst of people because they're a bunch of liars and fakes, as opposed to maybe don't lie on the internet for clout or self-righteous indignation. But I should probably have that fact checked. I should probably have that fact checked that before making an assumption." Okay. I mean, nobody. Okay, man. Nobody thought you were lying on the internet for clout or self-righteous indignation, dude. You're Waka Flocka Flame. People just, they thought you were being serious. And then when they found out you weren't being serious, most people probably just assumed you were being a silly, trolly, funny, famous person that doesn't need clout because you're already famous. But yeah, sure. I mean, like, if no actual media publications reach out to him to confirm whether it was true or not, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of slop media out there for sure. But what's his point? Like, everybody knows that. So, I mean, who was reporting on this? Let me take a look again, actually. See, who were the... I guess I wasn't Sorry, guys, I wasn't showing it. I have a habit of fucking that up, but we're getting better. We're getting better out here. Every stream we get better. But that was a fuck up. Let me just type in Waka Flocka Flame jumped. Who do we got here that pops up? He's saying that none of these publications reached out to see if it was true. He's saying none of them. Vibe, Vice, Source, Hot New Hip Hop, iHeart, The Needle Drop. Oh, The Needle Drop's already done a whole damn thing on this to prove how fake news spreads. Yeah, I'd like to see his video on that. So yeah, this is just top tier dumb, and I honestly don't even believe him because he had an agenda before one of these, somebody had to have reached out to him to confirm that it's true. Like, I'm not just taking his word that nobody reached out to him. I don't believe that. Like, he wanted the outcome of none of the... He loves this idea of, like, the media doesn't even confirm if things are true. And so he planted this. And whether or not they reach out to him or not, he was always going to say they didn't reach out to him. Because that's what he wanted to happen. So, like, I don't even believe him. I really don't. I mean, I wouldn't be that surprised if none of them actually did, but I don't believe him. New York Power, Soap Central, MSN, Sportskeeda are most reliable. For some reason, I don't know what the fuck Sportskeeda is, but for some reason I always end up on their website. Yeah, interesting, right? My first contract. Oh, here we go. Good shit. First contracted deal was with Benny Siegel and Freeway. Beyond them, I have signing deals with Master Ace, Tragedy, Gaddafi, and Capadonna. I've also done a bunch of one-off signings with Smith & Wesson, Lil Cease, The Young Guns, and State Property, and a lot more coming. Good shit, dude. I'm glad you still have it on. And I'm glad that you answered that question because I was very curious. That's so cool. Used to work with Benny Siegel. I never know how to pronounce it, Siegel or Siegel. And Freeway and Capadonna, Master Ace. Dude, that's fucking awesome. I respect your work, man. It's good shit. So, yeah, Waka Flocka Flame, proving that fake news is fake news. I don't know. I don't really get his point. It's stupid. Oh, that's funny, though. God. You know, for a brief moment there, I thought Waka Flocka was actually, like... He, like, shocked me last year with his, like... His getting up and leaving. I loved his, like, his standing for his morals and leaving. I'm pretty sure it was Fresh and Fit. One of those stupid-ass Manosphere podcasts. I was like, hell yeah, Waka is fucking bass, dude. But, I guess not. Yikes. Okay. We have one more story, and then we're going to hop into my top 18 favorite albums of 2024. Very excited. This will be a quick one. There's not much to investigate or to look into. It's just, it is what it is. Fucking Ice Spice. Well, here's the headline. U.S. rapper Ice Spice faces fan backlash over disrespectful 5-minute appearance at Brisbane gig. So on New Year's Eve, she showed up 25 minutes late to a 30-minute set in a festival, so a strict time limit. Performed 2 songs. They let her go 1 minute over, and then she left. Fans were like, "Can you believe that?" Now, I don't know who's necessarily super disappointed or was looking forward to Ice Spice. Like, that's almost kind of shocking, too, that she has people that are disappointed about this. But with an artist that sells as much as she did. Quite similar to the fake signatures thing. Just the faulty business practices for millionaires. These people have a ticket to the top. They are the luckiest people on the planet. You know, artists, especially artists, at least artists in a position like Ice Spice or Bon Jovi, for example, to be scamming fans. And this is not as much of a contrived or calculated scam as much of just bad planning. But after her horrible press, her horrible PR disaster year of 2024 for Ice Spice, this just adds onto the pile of fucking bad, shitty behavior from Ice Spice. U.S. rapper Ice Spice has been criticized for disrespecting Australian music fans after playing just 2 songs at a festival in Brisbane on New Year's Eve. Ice Spice is one of 3 headline acts and more than 35 artists for the travelling Wildlands Festival who performed at the RNA Showgrounds in the heart of Queensland capital on New Year's Eve, with punters paying up to $242 for the occasion. So, and mind you, like, that's not, this article kind of makes it seem like it's $200 to see Ice Spice, but no, they paid $242 to see 35 artists, Ice Spice being one of them. But she was slated to begin a half an hour show at 10:30 with British drum and bass duo and fellow headliners Chase and Status to ring in the new year from the same stage with a 1-hour show starting at 11:30. That's also part of it. It was New Year's Eve, so they about as strict of a timeline as you can get. She was 25 minutes late and starting her show at 10:55, and after only 2 songs, she left the stage. Gold Coast-based music podcaster and journalist Britton Larney was in the crowd for the 6-minute show. At 11:01 p.m., they gave her an extra minute. They cut the mic, and you heard the collective sigh from the crowd, so they were disappointed. He says they'd been waiting for a while, and they get 2 songs, so that was a bit ridiculous, and it was just really disrespectful how she walked off. She was laughing. They tried to give her flowers for her birthday, and she just shrugged them off. Yeah, dude. Oh. This just is so in line with, like, the whole story. I'm not going to go into it right now, obviously, but there's this whole story of Ice Spice and one of her opening acts that she invited onto her tour last year, and she invited this opening act personally, and then once she was on the tour, treated her like shit. The entire time, like, just treated her like dirt. So bad. And there's a lot of details and a lot of, like, evidence or circumstantial evidence or whatever, but I recommend listening to the H3 podcast segment about it. I don't know, type in like H3 podcast Ice Spice drama or something, Ice Spice story. It's good. It's funny if you're interested in that, learning why Ice Spice is a shitty person. But like I said, this just adds on to this is just the cherry on top. She is smiling and laughing after being 25 minutes late. Like, she doesn't give a fuck. Larney said Ice Spice appeared quiet and as if she didn't want to be there. It was just really disrespectful to see, especially with all the cancellations and stuff we've had in the Australian music scene, he said. It didn't help. Mia Sims, a 20-year-old dance teacher from the Gold Coast, said she and many others were already waiting 30 minutes before Ice Spice's show was scheduled to start to get a good place in the mosh pit, meaning many had been pressed together for almost an hour in total for the brief set. And she came out and played 2 songs, and they weren't even 2 of her most popular songs, Sims said. So weird. She probably just played the first 2 songs in her set list. It kind of seemed like a bit of a joke, like she didn't really care that much, and especially like she hasn't posted anything on her socials or apologized, so I couldn't imagine being one of her biggest fans and that happening. Yeah, that's the least that, you know, even like some of the like shittiest of artists, not like shitty musical artists, but like shittiest human beings that happen to be artists, even they will post an apology about like having to cancel a show. I don't really have examples, but I see it all the time. Artists saying sorry, can't make it, and you know, they aren't even known to be that great of people. Ice Spice doesn't even have the decency to do that. She doesn't give a flying fuck about the position she is in. I mean, she probably does if it's to be taken away from her, but she doesn't understand how to respect it, or I don't know. There's something missing in her head. Like, she is. A part of it is probably how young she is, but still, like, how can you be that spoiled? So I couldn't imagine being one of her biggest fans and that happening. It'd be pretty I'd be pretty devastated. Ice Spice, whose real name is Isis Naja Gaston. By the way, yeah, her first name is Isis. No comment. Was contacted through her agency. Wildlands Festival did not respond to questions but has commented on social media about the incident. We understand that Ice Spice's delayed arrival caused some frustration, the festival wrote. Managing a stacked festival means that we have to be extremely firm with scheduled set times. We had a strict curfew of 12:30 and needed to ensure that Chase and Status went on stage on time so you could all enjoy the New Year's Eve countdown. We gotta have Chase and Status to enjoy the New Year's Eve countdown. Everybody knows that. Ice, you gotta be on time. The promoters had billed Ice Spice as one of the world's biggest acts of the last few years, American Drill Queen with a pop twist. Yeah, I mean, she had a big 2023. I mean, that's about it. To be honest. I mean, really. She had that one big song that was good, and then she had the fart bars. She had a poopy 2024. We'll just say that. We'll just sum it up to that. She had a very poopy and smelly 2024. And that's about the extent of her career so far. She was reported to have been an hour late for another festival days earlier, with Chase and Status forced to push back their set on that occasion. She is slated to perform in Adelaide. I don't care. Through Larney, though Larney said that. Why can't I read? Though Larney said that may be the last she will be seen on the festival circuit in this country for some time, provided she turns up. I just think the one positive that is going to come out of Ice Spice pulling this type of behavior is that I don't think she'll be invited back to Australia for a long time. That harsh, huh? So that's Ice Spice drama. Not looking good for her. I'm sure her career will be just fine though. NonstopSignatures also saying he's done a bunch of one-off signings with Smith & Wesson. Oh wait, I already read that. Sorry, I already read that. The entire industry is a shakedown. Snake oil tactics for show. Dude, it's pretty sad. Like you were saying when you got on it, I wish we could meet under happier circumstances. Although, I am seeking out the sad circumstances so we can air them out. You know what I mean? We gotta air this shit out. No dust needs to be building up in the corners of this industry. You know, we gotta shake it all out. Even like Diddy's getting out of here. We're investigating people, and there's a shakeup is happening. I think across all cultures, or at least across all American cultures, and hip hop is included in that, and we will see that it grows. And I just want to see hip hop grow into a healthy future. I would hate to see, I see things like Diddy in the news, and that's a reflection on hip hop to the average person that isn't really a hip hop head, and that sucks. So, I want to do things that air out the dirty laundry in hip hop. So it's just aired out, and nobody is it'll help with the image of hip hop, and do my little part, if you know what I mean. That's all I can do. Also can produce my own hip hop, but that does nothing for anybody really. We will be doing some production on this channel, by the way. Sooner rather than later. Be doing a live stream, just producing, just having fun, just making music. I got some instruments and synths and shit, and we're gonna bust them out, and we're gonna do something cool. This is the Quarter Day Recordings is your first stop on YouTube for hip hop discussion and production. But I haven't done any production on the channel yet, just a lot of discussion. So we're going to mix in the production. I've actually taken a creative break for the last 2 semesters. I'm an audio engineering student. And basically, I'm in an associate's program for audio engineering and like recording technology and audio technology. I'm learning all sorts of stuff, electronic circuits. But so for the last 2 semesters, I've taken a creative music break because I've been doing these crazy projects in the recording studios for school. It kind of burnt me out creatively. So I took a break to recharge, and holy shit, I'm so ready to get back into producing. I'm psyched. Some chopping, some synth work. I have all sorts of techniques and methods, and I'll take you guys through it on this channel. We'll do it live. I'll show you everything. I'll show you what I do, how I make hip hop music, what I use, the tools I use. I'll air it. I'll show it out. No secrets. No secrets over here from me, Derek Obscure. You can find my music. I have quite a bit of music on Apple Music and shit. Spotify, YouTube Music, all of them. Derek Obscure. Okay, I need to go. Actually, no, I should probably stay down here. My family just got home, but my daughter, she gets very clingy. And so when she realizes that I'm down here, she kind of be bugging me a lot. So I was thinking about going upstairs, but I'm just going to stay down here. We're going to power through. I was thinking about taking a 5-minute break, but we're going to power through. You guys ready for my top albums of 2024 list? I don't sell physical CDs. No, I should though. I should sell physical CDs and I'll actually sign them. I'll sign them, motherfuckers. With my hand and a pen. No robots around here. No, I forgot what you called it. Robo signing. I don't know. Auto sign. Something like that. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy that they're getting away with it. Well, really, they're not getting away with it. They're not getting away with it because we're talking about it. I'll keep talking about it on this channel. I like your page. You know, post a lot of interesting things, so I'm watching. All right. So I've got this auto pen. Yes, auto pen. I've got this PowerPoint thingamajig that I made that has my year-end list. We'll start with honorable mentions, though, because I think that's a good starting spot. Now, there's a lot of honorable mentions. Last year, I did... Well, this is for... So, let me get this straight. Let's get on the same page first. This is my first year doing this YouTube channel, but for the last 4 years, I've been making my year-end album list the same exact way. So I guess I'll kind of break down the methodology, if you will, of how I made this, how I make my list. So throughout the full year, from the 1st of the year to the 31st of December, I am listening and sorting new music drops. Now, New Music Friday, it's every week it's New Music Friday. Every Friday, you know. And I'm catching all of those releases weekly, sorting all of those albums and singles that drop each week into and deciding if they should go into my 2024 playlist. My 2024 playlist is just a general catch-all playlist for music that I feel is meeting the moment. That's the idea there. And then, at the beginning of December, or at least I started at the beginning of December this year, I go through that playlist and use it to help me decide, like, what were the albums that, you know, not only had the most songs in the playlist, but I'm connecting with, you know, obviously, like, the ones that are connecting with me the most. And then, get a big list of all those albums, you know, write them all down. I don't know how many albums it was. Probably 40 or 50. Maybe closer to 40. My daughter's crying upstairs. Jesus. She's 2.5. So then I take that list, and in years past, I kind of went through, scanned each album again, got a better feeling, and then just, you know, whittle that down into my top 18. Daughter's throwing a temper tantrum. She's going to timeout now. But this year I decided to go back and listen to each album, pretty much front to back, and like dive into each one, because I knew I was going to be doing this ranked list on the stream for the first time this year. And so it took me so long. It took me the entire month of December to go back and listen to each one of these albums. And I whittled it down to a top 18 with a bunch of honorable mentions. Now, the top 18 is broken down. Let me break down the top 18 before we get into it. The top 18 is my 9 favorite hip-hop albums and my 9 favorite non-hip-hop albums. Because I'm biased. I'm a hip-hop head. This is a hip-hop channel, so, we're biased towards hip-hop, and we are upfront about that. So half the list is comprised of hip-hop. The other half of the list is comprised of, all other genres, because it really works out for me and my taste. And so I'll have my 18. And for the first time ever, sorry about the crying in the background if you can hear it. She'll stop soon. But 2020 through 2023, I didn't rank it because I wasn't really sharing these. I posted on Instagram, but it didn't really matter. This year, I ranked these albums. Not the honorable mentions, but the albums. Top 18. I ranked them from least to least. Least favorite to favorite, but I love them all. So, with that being said, here's the honorable mentions all at once. Let me see if I can get this full screen. Honorable mentions, kind of difficult to say. I'll be posting this on Instagram too, so you can reference it. Asher Roth and Heather Gray and their album Temporary Heaven. Big Sean with his album Better Me Than You. Bleachers with his album Bleachers Deluxe. Common and Pete Rock with their album The Auditorium Volume 1. Doechii with her album Alligator Bites Never Heal. Jesse with his new album Wanted. Joey Valence and Bray, No Hands Deluxe Edition. Fantastic album. Man, she has really thrown a temper tantrum up there. Kid Cudi, Insano. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard with their album Flight B741. Makami with Rich Ass Haitian. Matt Champion from Brockhampton with Mika's Laundry. Nia Archives, Silence is Loud. No Worries, Why Laud. Porches, Shirt. The album Shirt by Porches. Robert Glasper with his album Code Derivation. And then, last but not least, certainly not least, Schoolboy Q with Blue Lips. While we're on Schoolboy Q, this was the last album that I put into the honorable mentions. He gets a special highlight in the honorable mentions because it was kind of a last minute decision. I took him out of the top 18. It was close. It was very close. But for reasons that I may get into when we go through the list, Blue Lips, it's a strong honorable mention. So with that being said, that's our honorable mentions. And now we get into the PowerPoint. This may be a little dry. It may be a little boring, but I want to get through. I want to share this because I spent a lot of time making this list. And I loved a lot of the music that came out this year. I am very, very happy with the drops that we got from the artists that we did. Now I'm trying to find my damn presentation. Oh, I know where I put it. I gotta go in here, looking for my presentation. Made a whole PowerPoint thing. Dang it. Here we go. Okay. So, actually, would you guys mind if I take a little 2-minute break before I get into this? Because I want to bust through the whole thing at once. But I also want to go visit the garage, if you know what I mean. So, if you don't mind, let me take a couple minute break. I'll be right back. And then we're going to get through this whole, and I'll leave up while I'm gone, I'll leave up my honorable mentions. Why not? Maybe you want to jot them down or something. They're all great albums, even though they didn't make the full top 18. Oh yeah, another way about how I construct this list, my theory behind it. So I pick 9 hip hop albums and then 9 non-hip hop albums, and then the honorable mentions list, all of those tie for the 10th spot of each of those. So the honorable mentions, they're all tied in my mind, I guess, for spots 19 and 20. I can throw you some I can throw you some waiting music. Some of my own music. Because I can't play copyrighted music. But I can certainly play you like the intro song that I made. Let me see here. Let me see here. You did great. It was great. Couldn't have asked for a better interviewee. I'm back. I don't know if anybody's still here, but we're gonna get into it right now. Enough of this. top 18 albums of the year. Okay? Alright. Number 18, Yeet, with his album 2093. This is futuristic. What do they call it? Rage of the year 2024. This is like where it's at. You know, forget Playboy Cardi. Forget fucking Destroy Lonely or whatever the whole opium. Nah. Yeet is doing it way more interesting than any of those guys, at least in 2024. Huge shout out. Before this year, or before last year at this point, I was like lukewarm on Yeet. I was still trying. He was just another dude, really. This album changed things for me in the way that I see him, and the type of artist he is. If you like Travis Scott, if you like Utopia, this is a great like pairing with Utopia, in my opinion. You may hate it. There is a reason it's number 18. You know, it's kind of a guilty pleasure in a way, but I rock with this. It's a long album, so there are dips, there are valleys, there are valleys and lows and highs. Okay, but overall, it's fantastic. If you ask me, in my opinion. Okay, may not be your cup of tea, but I recommend you give it a shot. He's onto something. Okay, I promise you, he's definitely onto something. Now, I will say the album, he did drop another one. He dropped 2 this year in 2024. The second one that came later in the year, not as good. So I'm not holding my breath for like a very well, particularly crafted and thought out entire discography from Yeet. Although maybe it will happen, but this is the one from Yeet up until this point. Next, we've got number 17 landing at, wait for it, Lupe Fiasco with his short little condensed compact album Samurai, a concept album, really like the most, actually one of the most esoteric concepts, because his album fucking Drogas Waves exists. You know, like 2 of the most esoteric hip-hop concept albums have of all time almost have come from Lupe. Now I'm sure you can make an argument for all sorts of different people, but the 2 that come to my mind, like, so this one is obviously Lupe is like a samurai with, you know, his lyrics and his flows, and then he's also like a trained martial artist and shit, so like that's pretty much on the surface. But in an interview, Lupe said that this album is a parallel to a Amy Winehouse documentary that he watched, in which like she's on stage in her early days of her career in London and like getting, I don't even know, like booed off maybe or something, but then she's like this prolific, like incredible, not even really, you know, just like an incredible talent, and he likens himself to her, and I don't know. It's very odd because when you listen to it, he doesn't talk about Amy Winehouse. The album has nothing to do with Amy Winehouse, but I guess like it does. So I don't know. But all that aside, this is a great rebound, recovery, whatever you want, if you will, whatever you want to call it, from Lupe as a follow-up to his album 2022's. Now the name of his album from 2022 is escaping me, but man, what? Regardless, that one was a little messy. He was kind of like, it was a little odd for Lupe. He's in my opinion felt a little off, like something was missing, or maybe he was trying new things. But this is Lupe like going back to his. He it seemed like he took a step back and reassessed and reassessed what was working in his more recent albums. And in my opinion, this one's more in the spirit of Tetsuo and Youth, which is my favorite Lupe album. And so this is like a more condensed, compact version of Tetsuo and Youth, but you know, another healthy heaping of that style. and he cut the fat on it. I can tell he spent his time crafting it. And that's what Lupe does. He's an artist. He's like the truest of artists in this hip hop thing, of people who are still in their prime. And what's up, Austin? And yeah, man, I'm just like super happy with Lupe in this kind of like return to form. It was a very quick misstep with that last one, although I do kind of like it. I still can't remember the name of it. But his 22 album, it was a little odd. He's back. Lupe's back. And I also just saw that he's teaching at Harvard and MIT. Like, he's teaching hip hop curriculum at like prestigious universities. Like, he is fucking killing it. He's so cool. Lupe Fiasco, he fucking kills it. Everything he does. All right. Next. Number 16. Top 18 albums of 2024 ranked. Number 16, Jack White with his album No Name, with this weird ass cover, this blank ass album, weird ass cover, no name, untitled album. This shit rips. Jack White is fucking ripping like it's 2002 and he's playing with the White Stripes. You know, this shit is the best Jack White solo album. And he has some, in recent years, some better ones. But this is, talk about a return to form. If you haven't checked it out, I don't know if you're a fan. If you're a fan of the White Stripes, you gotta check it out, because this is just like, it sounds like a new White Stripes album. Fresh. Sounds fresh. He sounds hungry, but really, Jack White, he is a creative force. Always has been, even if his albums aren't like the best. Even when his albums aren't the best, he's always creating. He's always like at the forefront of whatever the fuck he's doing. He's just one of those guys that is he's just too cool. You know what I mean? But here he is. It's like, oh yeah, I can still do this. So it's cool to get that from him. He's been trying to do like crazy, like more like almost hip hop influenced rock, which has been cool. Hasn't aged too well, but this one is gonna age like fine wine. I guarantee it. So check it out if you haven't. Moving on to number 15 on our list. Kamasi Washington, jazz artist, with his album Fearless Movement. Now, this is like the one strictly jazz placement on this list. There's another album coming later down the line that's like contemporary jazz, but this is like, I mean, it's called Fearless Movement, which is kind of like what the spirit of jazz and hip hop is. And this is like straight jazz. Like, these are like 7-minute long saxophone, like instrumental, free-form jazz type of shit, but mixed in with some features, you know, more contemporary features that you'll recognize. But it's an incredible body of work. You gotta, I mean, if you like soul and jazz, you'll love this. And my daughter's getting in trouble upstairs again. Don't mind them. They're lovely. But yeah, this guy's on To Pimp a Butterfly. I'm sure you're aware of Kamasi Washington, but if you're not, he's instrumental in the LA jazz scene. He was instrumental in the creation of To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. He's in the group, I think they're called The Dinner Party or something like that. Let's see what I can. I also need to look up there's another album that I couldn't remember the name of, but let me. So I'm looking up. Let me just. Washington. Yeah, he's in a group called Dinner Party with Terrace Martin and Ninth Wonder and Robert Glasper. They do a lot of work with Felix as well from like the Midwest scene. But yeah, they're like, that's like the backbone of LA jazz. And there's this fantastic podcast about the creation of To Pimp a Butterfly. Oh, I'm checking out the chat now. Yes, drill music is Zion. Thank you. That was the Lupe album. I couldn't put my finger on the name of. Yeah, Yeet probably did sell some fake signed CDs. I'm not surprised. Like I said, lots of scamming going on by newer artists. Probably almost even more so than. I mean, I don't know exactly, but if I had to guess, there's a lot of up and coming rappers that are doing scammy business practices. I know this is like an aside, and I haven't talked about this on stream, but the rapper El Camino, who's involved with like Griselda, and I'm pretty sure he's in Benny the Butcher's label. El Camino, fantastic rapper. He's known for scamming, and his Instagram fan base got on his ass for scamming them, and he ended up blocking a lot of people. I don't know the details, but it's just another example. But yeah, Kamasi Washington, instrumental in the creation of To Pimp a Butterfly, and released his first album in 9 years, and it's fantastic. It really is. So check it out. Moving on, number 14. Vampire Weekend's new album, Only God Was Above Us. If you were to ask me if I believe Vampire Weekend would be on my year-end list in 2024, if you were to ask me that at the beginning, I'd be like, fuck no, you're joking. But here we are, and here they are on my list. It's crazy. But this is, and I've listened to their albums like for the first time like somewhat recently, like within the last 5 years, and I was like, okay, these are okay. I recognize some of the songs. This is their best album, at least the best one that I've heard. But like by far, like this is like a hella fun album, like such a fun album, and very super catchy shit. Super ear catchy, like, yeah, it just catches your ear. Lots of ear candy going on here. The tone of the guitar is just like ringing in my head right now. And you'll have a great time listening to it, no matter, like, I guarantee it. Even though this is a hip hop channel, like, this is just good music. This shit's awesome. But yeah, never been huge into Vampire Weekend. Wasn't thinking about them at the beginning of this year. It's just one of those ones that just like, boom, whoa, wasn't expecting that. But this is right up my alley. Vampire Weekend, Only God Was Above Us. Okay. Should we move on? Number 13. Let's do it. Magdalena Bay with Imaginal Disc. This is poppy, electronic-y, indie, if I had to broadly describe it with some words. I don't know if anybody that's watching right now is into this type of music, but we do have more music kind of like this on this list. But this shit is just more another really fun album filled with ear candy. Very unconventional, not formulaic, boring pop music. Like this shit is like, it's gorgeous, beautiful, lush, also fun and catchy and boppy, and also kind of dark in certain spots, and yeah, certainly dark in some spots, and it's kind of it's just a great listen. It's just a great listen. And 13th best listen of the year as far as albums go, full projects. I went back, like I said, and listened to at least 40, maybe more, probably more, honestly, albums, but like all of the albums. Like I wanted to like feel each album and like really like feel which ones are the best here. And it took me so long. And, you know, I listened to these albums throughout the year, but there's so much music that comes out nowadays. And it's like I'm keeping up with hordes of new albums and singles every Friday while going to school and taking care of a daughter. So, like, it's a lot. So I don't have as much time as I used to really live with certain albums. I do live with my favorite albums, but, you know, my most favorite ones are highest at the top. But, like, these ones kind of back here, I haven't listened to them as much as I would like to at this point, and I will. That's why they made this list. So I know, now they're in a lot of my playlists, and I've got all these like albums of the decade playlists and shit. So these ones they're in my top 18, they're getting even more rotation these days because they're the best. They are just the best. Moving on. Number 12, Justice, with their album Hyperdrama. Sorry for the grainy photo on some of these. Could only find, I quickly made this. I wasn't able to search too hard for super nice photos of all of these. But this is electronic. This is kind of like the electronic placement on the list. Super solid. Justice, they're known for their, in my mind, they had a song, Dance, D-A-N-C-E. D-A-N-C-E. That one? If you know what I'm talking, if you know, you know. And that was way back in the day, like when I was in middle school or it probably came out even earlier than that. But I used to play this game, DJ Hero, made by the Guitar Hero people. Yeah, like a turntable. That song was on it. And I mean, just like the memories of playing that game are just seared to my mind. I always loved that song. So when this album was coming out, I'm psyched. Loved the singles. And it's a very, very solid electronic album. Like, hardly any skips. No skips, really. I mean, it's just like solid front to back. Not much more to say about it. Just go listen to it. I mean, it's electronic dance music. Pop. There's a Miguel feature on there. I'm curious what other features are on it. There's I'm pretty sure this is like I think they're French as well. It's just one of those French dance duos like Daft Punk. I'm pretty sure they're French. Yeah, the Thundercat is on this thing. Conan Moccasin, the Flints, Tame Impala. Tame Impala's on here twice actually, and Miguel. So yeah, go check out Hyperdrama. It's a great one. Fantastic album. Let me double check the stream, make sure we're still good on the streaming end of things. It's good to double check. 1 second. We're still streaming. Okay, one time I didn't look at the stream for like an hour and I had been booted and I was talking to nobody for like 45 minutes. I have nightmares of that happening again. So anyways, let's continue. Number 11 is where we're at in this list of my top 18 favorite albums of 2024. Oh, sorry. Mike Schaub with his album Suicide 3. This is a rapper I don't know too much about, but he, I guess I kind of found him last year. He had a collab with a producer that I listened to. Let me find out who that producer is, because that's kind of who put me on him. It's like Cartoon Beats or something like that. One of those guys. Oh no, it's Nicholas Craven. Yeah, Mike Schaub and Nicholas Craven released their EP Shadow Moses last year, and that was, as in 2023. That's what put me onto him. And then he dropped the Suicide 3 project, and it, like, the creativity on this thing blew me away. It still does. Like the just super genuine and unique flow, and then the tone of his voice is very relaxed and laid back, but it's so effortless. And really, I guess it's just his flows are just so smooth. There's an effortlessness about his rapping, and a coolness about his style. And then he can also kind of sing, and so he has these songs with like really like ear catchy melodies that he just kind of like hums up, and so they're kind of like understated or low key, but it's super catchy. There's hella catchy songs all over this thing, pretty much front to back. It's not too weird the music doesn't get too weird, but it's different. It's different, but it's kind of refreshing in that way. It's very cool. Kind of just leave it at that. It's very cool. I mean, look how high there's something special about this guy. He made it this high up on my list. I don't even really know where he's from. He popped up on a My Radar freestyle, or on the Radar freestyle, popped up on my Instagram the other day, and so that freestyle is on Apple Music as well. And I was like, oh shit, Mike Schaub. I'm really rocking with this guy, and here he is on the Radar freestyle. I love that account, by the way. On the Radar, just for like finding up and coming like wacky new rappers and shit. They get some of the craziest characters on there. They're like really, really digging that account the last 6 months or so. Like most people. Just want to give him a little shout out. Alright, yeah, that's Mike Schaub. Suicide 3. And he has quite a few projects out, so there's a lot that I haven't even dove into yet in his discography. But number 10. Here we are, folks. Top 10 albums of 2024. Top 10 albums of 2024. Official QDR, Quarter Day Recordings. This is canon, y'all. This is canon. I got these nice graphics made up of these of this list and my honorable mentions list that I'll be posting on the Instagram account at Quarter Day Recordings. If you don't follow it, you should. On Instagram at Quarter Day Recordings. Also on Threads at Quarter Day Recordings. Also, while we're here, if you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up to let the algorithm know that you're interested in this type of content, and then also, obviously help my video, but it helps you too. I like to I watch a lot of YouTube, and I make sure the videos that I'm vibing with, I always give them a thumbs up, because it just helps my For You page. And then I also want to support the creator. You know what I mean? So it's so simple, so free. So, number 10 spot. Let's get into it. Willow. Again, sorry for the granny ass photo. Her album, Empathogen. This album might be like the Take Me By Surprise. Probably wins the Take Me By Surprise award of the year. Now, I've fucked with Willow's music in the past, but like, mainly when I was like younger, like 2015, like damn, literally 10 years ago. She was dropping some kind of like cool, like trippy things, and I was into it at the time, but always hit or miss. But this is like, holy shit, she's a neo soul icon, or growing in to be one. And maybe not everybody would agree with that at this point, but this album is creatively kind of like on another planet with her contemporaries. I'm talking SZA. I'm talking, I don't know, Ari Lennox. I'm talking Doja Cat. I don't know. Who are her contemporaries? Summer Walker. These people. No, Willow is on like a creative plane. She's on a higher creative plane than those people. If this album is any indication of her future. Maybe this flew under your radar. And actually, I just found out today while I was making this, there's a deluxe version of this album that I missed in the year that it came out, which is super frustrating because it has a feature on one of the bonus songs, on one of the new songs by Kamasi Washington, which is an artist that I just talked about earlier in this list. So I haven't even listened to him yet. So there's even a deluxe version of this album. But, the regular version is fantastic. I think it's only 10 songs. If you like neo soul, if you like Erykah Badu, if you like Lauryn Hill, like she is cut from that cloth. She is certified. Okay? And you got to look at this album cover in high resolution. This grainy ass photo is not doing it justice. It's a cool cover. I really like this photo. Willow, and yes, this is Willow Smith, as I'm sure you know. Whip my hair back and forth. Willow Smith, Will Smith's daughter, making music leagues and leagues and leagues and miles and stratospheres ahead of the the music that her dad makes, and frankly even her brother. Although her dad's music is worse. Okay. Number 9 spot. Drum roll, please. Elucid with his album Revelator. Now, Elucid is I guess an underground rapper. I'm sure you're probably aware of Elucid. I'm pretty sure the people watching right now are straight hip hop heads because NonstopSignatures brought them in, and shout out to you guys for that. Y'all are my people. And but Elucid, one half of the group Arm & Hammer with Billy Woods. I don't know too much about him, honestly. Gotta be honest. I think he's from New York as well, just like Billy Woods is, which I'm like 90% sure that's where Billy Woods is from. So I'm pretty sure they're both from New York, but even if they're not, this is... Sorry, my daughter's distracting me. She's squealing like a pig. As soon as this is done, as soon as I'm done with this list, I have to go upstairs and take care of them. I'm neglecting my family right now for this list. I love you guys. I'll do it for you. She's okay. Anyways, so yeah, Elucid. Super glitchy. This one's maybe like the hardest listen. Oh my goodness. Wait till the storm is past. Oh shit. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear any of that, but there's a lot of chaos going on upstairs. But yes, Elucid. This might be the most difficult listen on this entire list of mine, but I love this shit. This is like straight heroin to my veins. It's super glitchy. It's not conventional at all, really. It's kind of really noisy a lot of the time, but Elucid his rapping is just so potent. His writing is just so potent, dude. Like, I don't know. There's a poetry and a deep spirituality about, and just really just like mind-bending like imagery, and like the places that him and Billy Woods' minds go blow me away nearly every time. And I've been waiting for an album that really blows me away from Elucid, and this is kind of reaching that. I still have faith that he'll drop even better. But look at this, placing at number 9. Like, this is really I'm really connecting with this one. And maybe it's not everybody's cup of tea. I'm sure it's not, because like I said, it's pretty noisy. Kind of like, if you like Scaring the Hoes by JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown, it's kind of like up that same alley. I feel like Injury Reserves, By the Time I Get to Phoenix, is kind of up that alley. Although that album's even weirder than this one, even harder to listen to. But not when I say hard to listen to, I don't mean that as bad at all. It's just very noisy, and some people can't sit through that. I, depending on the album, like that shit. So, sorry, I got interrupted there. Got distracted there, I mean. But yes, Elucid with his album Revelator. Okay, number 8. Let's blow through the rest of these. Ab-Soul's new album, Soul Burger. It was Los Angeles took over this year. They really did. Not that they weren't prior to 2024. Like, it's not that they didn't already have a grip on the industry prior to 2024, but particularly this year, between all of the TDE stuff, between all of the Kendrick stuff, and then just like a really like felt like unifying. It felt like a really unified West Coast on the hip hop scene, and Ab-Soul was a part of that with this album, Soul Burger. I think this album is way better than his last one, Herbert. way more interesting songs. I love the sample choices. I love the beat selection on this. A lot of like classic sample choices on here that are like nostalgic to me personally from like 10 years ago, like hip hop like 10 years ago. Like introducing classic samples to a new audience, a new generation really of hip hop fans, and also, you know, Absol has his old fans, but I just love to see it. I just love to see it in like in a package like this that feels so like, oh, we're still here. You know, this still could be like 2010. You know what I mean? And that's just a time that I particularly have you know, I was freshman in high school in 2010. And so I just like to imagine that it's comforting. Albums like this are comforting. Every song in this thing is fucking incredible. Like, Absol is at the top of his pen game. Nothing like... Absol kind of suffers from this, like... honestly suffers from emotion on his albums a lot of the time, and I can't necessarily blame him because he seems to have gone through a lot of loss, and he's an emotional guy, but his albums kind of suffer sometimes because of that sappiness. Not this one though. This one's tight, and this one's solid, and this one's dope as fuck. And the features on it are incredible. And the song, I just want to give a special shout out to the song Crazier featuring JID, because that is like one of the coolest hip hop songs of the decade for sure. And it lives on this album. So shout out Absol with Soul Burger, coming through with incredibly solid hip hop, West Coast hip hop. And with that being said, we continue on to our number 7 spot with Kendrick Lamar's GNX. Slightly edging out Absol, but just, you know, hand in hand. Two brothers in arms, Kendrick and Absol, standing together on this album, side by side, or on this list, side by side. Kendrick, I mean, what more is there to say about this one? Everybody has listened to it, probably a whole bunch at this point, at least certain songs, a whole bunch. Can't really escape it. All over the internet, people are using these songs everywhere. Just the cap on like one of the most interesting and hilarious and mysterious and like weird beefs in hip hop ever, and probably will be remembered for many decades to come. And hi Ashley, dinner's ready. Ashley joined my Instagram stream and said dinner's ready. Okay, I'm almost done. I'm on number 7 of my top albums of the year list. I have 6 more to talk about, so I'll blow through. But yeah, Kendrick Lamar, GNX, number 7 of my list of the top albums of 2024. Yeah, I mean this one's got the whole beef wrapped up into it, and the thing with this album is they said that you can't just hop in the car and throw on a Kendrick album, and this is Kendrick saying, yes you fucking can. And that's what it is. I mean, it's called GNX. He's leaning against the car. Every song is a bop and a banger. Every song is fun as hell, or you know, or just like super nice to. I mean, have you listened to it in the car? This album is perfect for the car. It's a car album. This is a response and a cap on the beef. And that's kind of why it edges out Absol here. But like I said, they're standing side by side, brothers in arms here. All right, number 6. LL Cool J The Force. Like, what the hell? This thing is produced by Q-Tip. And if you like A Tribe Called Quest, if you like Thank You For Your Service, We Got It From Here, their last album, this thing is like a spiritual successor to that, in my opinion. It is... it's a Q-Tip album. And then LL Cool J, I'm not gonna lie, has kind of introduced me on this album. Obviously I know who LL Cool J is. Obviously I have some of his albums in my library, but never been crazy about him. He's never been like one of my goats or anything like that. I've always just kind of seen him as more like a commercial dude, more of like a Drake kind of guy. But he is rapping on this album, and he sounds young and fresh and hungry as a rapper on this album. And the Q-Tip production is so interesting. It's so just like unconventional, and like I said, it's spiritually has the same energy as We've Got It From Here, Thank You For Your Service, or Thank You For whatever, the last Tribe album that came out in 2016. Highly recommend. I actually have videos talking about this album. I have one of my somewhat more popular videos from this year is based on LL Cool J, because he was on the song with Brad Paisley called Accidentally Racist like 10 years ago. You should go check out that video, but turns out I'm talking about LL again in like a more positive fashion this time. So shout out LL Cool J. He's given me plenty of content this year, and he also made the goddamn album of the year list. Let's actually just give a little round of applause for LL Cool J. Okay. Moving on. Number 5. Top 5. Big deal. I gotta finish this up so I can eat dinner and spend time with my family. My daughter's throwing a temper tantrum. I haven't checked the stream in a minute. It's been a minute. I still got people in here. Cool. Yeah, no, that's my daughter. If you hear a bunch of screaming, that's definitely my daughter. She's making a lot of noise back there. Okay. Gotta bust through this. Number 5. Top 5. Big deal. Gather in. Everybody, gather in. Charlie XCX, Brat, and it's completely different, but also still Brat. Specifically, this version. She dropped 3 versions of this album this year. The original, and then she dropped one called Brat, and it's completely different, with 3 bonus songs. Or wait, no. It was like a Brat remix. I can't even remember what it's called. But this one is called Brat, and it's completely different, but also still Brat, because she tacked on an entire album's worth of incredible, top-notch electronic and hip-hop remixes of the original Brat album. So the original Brat album came out, and I was like pretty lukewarm on it at first. But once this remix album dropped, my eyes were kind of opened, because these remixes, in my opinion, improve every song. But then they also gave me the appreciation for the originals. So now I love the remixes, and then I also now love the original album. It's kind of another one of my guilty pleasures at this point. My wife also loves this album. I got it for her for Christmas. But yeah, the remixes, they've got like Drain Gang on them. They've got Bon Iver. One of the songs has Bon Iver on them. It's got Caroline Polachek, Lord on the remixes, Billie Eilish on the remixes, and they beefed up each song. They remixed them all, and like the mixes sound better. The songs sound more interesting. The production is more conventional, I guess, which I appreciate that. Because the original is it took time for it to grow on me. Jeez. Sorry. I gotta wrap this up. It's getting dicey up there. Fussing at dinner time. Okay. So yeah, Charlie XCX. The remix version of Brat, and it's completely different, but also still Brat. You gotta check it out. I'm sure you've seen this album everywhere at this point. Specifically gotta shout out that Bon Iver feature. That shit's crazy. Crazy good. Alright, number 4. Here we go. Number 4. Are we ready? Here we go. Brittany Howard, what now? So Brittany Howard is the lead singer, the lead vocalist of Alabama Shakes. Which in 2015, a decade ago, they released one of my favorite albums ever, Sound and Color, which I'm sure everybody knows at this point. Very popular album. Some of the songs are, all over TV and movies and commercials and everything. So, but she's been making solo music since like 2019, solo albums. And this is another, I mentioned ear candy on some of these albums, on maybe a lot of them. And this is another example of ear candy, but a lot of soul, very soulful. If you know Sound and Color, if you know Alabama Shakes, you know Brittany Howard. It's in that same vein. It's just as good as Alabama Shakes music albums, and I've been rocking with some of these songs for a long time. It seems like now, because she had singles for this album coming out in 2023 as well, and this came out early 2024. But every time I listen to it, and I don't necessarily, it's so good because it's kind of a sleeper, because I don't always think about it. But when I did my halftime report list in June or July or whatever, this was like, I listened to these albums. I have to go back to this, and I listened to it, and I'm like, holy shit, this is so incredibly good. So it happened in June, or like over the summer. I'm like, wow, this is actually really good. Let's put this in my list. And then I'm re-listening to them again, and it's like, wow, shit, this album is still really fucking good, even though I don't listen to it every week, So yeah, you got to check it out. This one, I would love to get this one on vinyl. So, moving on. Top three albums of 2024. Number 3 spot goes to JPEG Mafia with his album, I Lay Down My Life For You. Now, when I was talking about Elucid, saying this is like, one of the harder, probably the most difficult album to listen to on this list, the next one in my mind was this. Although this one is pretty digestible as far as JPEG Mafia albums go. This is incredible body of work from JPEG Mafia, especially coming off a very high 2023 with Scaring the Hose, his collab with Danny Brown. I think this is better than Scaring the Hose. Scaring the Hose is actually like really noisy to the point where I don't blame people for not liking it. But this is another example of like, I love the sample selection on this. He's choosing like samples that are nostalgic to me from songs that I loved like in high school, that were new in high school, like 10 years ago. And so he's doing this thing that what kind of happened with, what was the other album? But basically where he's introducing classic samples to a new generation. What was the other album on this list that I said was doing that? Oh, Absol. Yeah, kind of like Absol, Soulburger album. They're both of these albums, Soulburger and I Lay Down My Life For You. They're choosing samples that I already love and repurposing them into new incredible songs. Like, I just love that shit, and that's kind of the essence of and some of the backbones of hip hop, or some of the foundation bones of hip hop, is just recycling and repurposing, and hip hop. That's, if you're talking about hip hop philosophy, hip hop feeds itself, and something I've said in the past, and it does, as far as like sampling and then like flows and styles, they recycle, and people can borrow, it within hip hop, borrow from each other, and this is true for all art styles, but I particularly love the sampling aspect of hip hop and recycling in that way, and reusing samples like this, like JPEG Mafia, just to bring in old and new fans alike. It just helps create the sense of a community of art, a community of artists and creators, and it's just a beautiful thing. Hip hop is a beautiful thing. All right. Number 2. Number 2 spot. Drum roll, please. Number 2 spot on this list goes to none other than Fouché with her album, Pointy Heights. Now, you probably were not expecting that. You probably maybe don't even know who the fuck this is. And let me tell you, this is kind of like indie. It's kind of like indie pop with like an island twist. I don't know if that's, I don't know what to compare it to necessarily, but it's very bubbly. It's very light, but it's very catchy. And it's so, like, again, the earworms, the ear candy all over this thing. And that's why it's reaching my number 2 spot. It's a feeling that I have with this album. I love these songs. Maybe this isn't what you're here for. This style of music isn't what you're here for. But this is what I am connecting with, at least in my number 2 spot. Like, I love every single one of these songs. And her voice, like, and this one caught me by surprise. I didn't love her last album that came out, I don't know, 2022, I think. I didn't love it. Didn't really know who she was as an artist when I added this album to my library. But now I do. I feel like I listen to this album and I'm like, oh, that's Fouché. Like, now she has an identity. And so it's kind of like, it seems special. Like, maybe she found herself. Maybe I need to go back and, I still haven't done this, but I need to go back and re-listen to her other album from this decade. She might have multiple, but her last album before this one. But I don't think it's nearly as good as this. Like, these songs are like legit as fuck. The songs on here, like, they're like lullabies almost, in a way, where they're so, one, they kind of sound like lullabies, and 2, they're like classic, like, lullabies. Like, the melodies, I don't know where she's pulling from exactly, but like I said, like, kind of got like an island twist, an island flair to it, like a beachy kind of vibe on a lot of these songs, with bubbly, light pop vocals, but it's really just the catchiness. You got to check this shit out. Maybe y'all won't agree with me, but I love this shit. I love these songs so much. So much so, it's at my number 2 spot. I'm not joking, y'all. It's a serious placement right here. Number 2. Very serious placement. I mean this shit. Like I said, I went back and listened to all these albums, especially these top 18. I listened to these top 18 again. I listened to a whole list, a whole bunch of them, to whittle it down to the top 18 with some honorable mentions. And then I listened to the top 18 again in order to rank them. So, I mean these placements. I do. I truly do. Put a lot of thought into this list. And with that being said, at the very end here, we have our number 1 spot. And after this, I will be getting off the stream so I can eat dinner and hang out with my family like a good boy. And thank you all for writing. Hi, baby. Cool. I'm almost done, okay? Bye. See what I got waiting for me upstairs? It's so exciting. All right. So, without further ado, my favorite album of the year, of 2024, Tyler, the Creator, with his album Chroma fucking Copia. It's actually just called Chromacopia, but it's so good, I added the fucking. If you haven't listened to this shit, you got to. It is, in my opinion, and I have loved Tyler for 10 years, his entire career. I've known about Tyler. I caught on to him, what I think is pretty fucking early on. It was probably, if it wasn't the tail end of 2009, it was the first quarter of 2010 when my friend sent me the Yonkers video. Or it was I think the Earl Sweatshirt video. Like the song Earl Sweatshirt, I think. Or the song Earl. The video for Earl. Where they're like got fake blood and everything. I am a day one Tyler guy. You know, I think this is his best album. I swear to fucking God. This shit, personally, I'm connecting with this album so hard. Like, it's hard for me to put it into words because it's just a feeling. I love this album. It is so, the song ideas on it are so fleshed out, and that's the thing with Tyler. He's such a true artist because he's been trying to make certain song ideas happen for years, and he'll try and try again at a certain sound, and he's got these songs laid out for us on the history of his discography. And so with that, like, he legitimately gets better with each album because he is continually perfecting these particular sounds. And come to Chromacopia, I mean, maybe he can and maybe he will get better than this. I do think that there is room for Tyler to get better. So I don't know if this is like the perfect Tyler album quite yet, but this is most certainly his best album yet, in my opinion. He has perfected these song ideas. They're nearly perfect. It's nearly perfect. Like, I'm talking 9.999999999 out of 10. And the only reason, like, I legitimately think Tyler will make a 10 out of 10 album before his career is over. And that will be incredible. That might shatter my fucking brain because this album is already like so goddamn good. And I love Tyler as an artist. And I love hip hop as an art form. How about that for a transition? So you guys, oops. Here I am. I gotta go because I gotta pee. I gotta eat dinner. I got to take care of my family. But this was such a fun stream. Thank you once again to NonstopSignatures for the interview. You did great, man. You really did great. And I hope you think I did okay too. That was my first interview, with many more to come. Shout out Rap Hoarder for connecting me to NonstopSignatures. He's in here. I am Dom P, also known as Rap Hoarder on Instagram. Go check him out. And yeah, go check out NonstopSignatures on Instagram at NonstopSignatures and NonstopSignatures.com. I'm pretty sure I will put it all in the description. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in, y'all. It means the world. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. We do weekly streams. Thursdays, Fridays. It really switches around every week. There's no telling what day. I try and do it on Thursday or Friday, though. I don't know if y'all are getting the music, actually. Yeah, dude. Y'all are the realest. Have a good night.